Hey guys, Lizardlea here for Christmas Minis Season's Greetings. So that's this pattern, and I found it on the cover. Okay, hold on. It's gonna be best pattern ever, you guys. Do you see that bell right there? Yeah, it's great. I don't know who designs the covers, but like the ones that you can't see for squat. That's why you have more patterns in the middle of the book. Or well, more like finished pieces. I said patterns. I should not have said patterns. I finished the third book in the Stormlight Archive series, and Pattern is one of my favorite characters. So his name is on my brain, I guess. I'm finally back to listening to Jim Butcher's the Dresden Files is what it's called. I'm on Peace Talks, which I think is book number 15. No, book number 16. So the next one is book 17, Battleground, and they both came out this year, and I'm just like so excited because I love his work. And James Marsters' Spike from Buffy is the narrator, which is just like, if it's already at a 10, it is now at a 12. You can't go wrong with Spike. I mean, right? He was my favorite. Him and Wesley were the best. So I am rambling. I'm gonna go back to cross stitching.
And here is another one I will be doing in real time again. This one was actually under an hour, so this one's better. Alrighty, what question am I on? 108. Never have I ever been electrocuted. No. Like, I've been shocked. Like just like a little static shock when you're walking and you touch the light or somebody else comes over and touches you, but that's as bad as it's been, and that's already painful to me. So, I don't need it worse. I'm good. I'm good. Let's see. 109. Okay, hold on. Sorry. This says 3 random truth or dare questions. So I want to see 109. If you could create your own job title, what would it be? I don't think these people know what truth or dare means. I don't think they know. Create your own job title? I don't. I don't know. I'm not good at this. I'm just gonna pass. I guess I would do dare on that one. I don't know. 110. How many pancakes have you eaten in a single sitting? I mean, okay, so it depends on the size. When it came to the ones that you would get like at IHOP, so they're like plate sized, I think I think the most I could ever do was 2. And now I'd be at like 1.5 if I'm lucky. Like David and I, we got, let's see, we got waffles, and it was a waffle that was basically the size of a plate, and it was in 4 sections, so it was big. It was much bigger than I was used to. And I also had 2 sunny side up eggs or something, what medium, whatever. I had eggs and some potatoes. I ate 1/4 of the waffle, so like just one of the cubes, and I ate both of the eggs, and I ate a little bit of the potatoes, and that was it. I couldn't eat anymore. I was so full. So yeah, but if we just want to go with quantity, I have eaten so many small pancakes, ones that like, if you put your hands together and try to make the biggest circle possible, they're still smaller than that. My mom likes to make them really small because she likes to make sure they're cooked the whole way through, which is still delicious. But not gonna lie, I do enjoy my pancakes being a little bit undercooked. Like when they're just a little battery. Oh, I love it. I'm so bad, I know. But yeah, when my mom would make those, I would just eat them and eat them and eat them. Pancakes were always my favorite. That was anytime I had a sleepover, my mom would always make pancakes in the morning, and it was always so exciting because it's just delicious. Love pancakes. Oh. 111. Do you lick your plate? If it was good enough, absolutely. And it also does depend on where I'm at. Like if I'm at, uh, like David's family, if I'm with them, I'm not gonna do that. With my own family, I'd totally be willing to do that in front of my brother. I don't know about my parents. I feel like I'd be judged. But at home, heck yeah, I don't give a crap. If David judges me, that's fine. Like whatever. He's still the one who chose to date me. Okay, so those were absolutely not truth or dare questions. That was really stupid, but okay. Excuse me. 112. Do you have a special place you like to visit regularly? Not really. I mean, I know Roma Deli is my favorite restaurant here, and I'm always excited when David and I go. I guess that's special. Like when I got my haircut, that's where we went. We went there. We ordered from there for my birthday. It's just my favorite restaurant. It's so good, and the people that work there are always so nice and so helpful, and it's great. Otherwise, yeah, especially not now with how COVID is. So 113. What is the reason you are most grateful in your life? Gratitude is a great way of reflecting on life, so why not ask this question? I mean, I have to say I am definitely the most grateful for my life because of my asthma. It has made me realize that like I am not immortal. I learned that at a very, very young age. I've had symptoms my whole life, but a doctor did not diagnose me until I was in first grade. And I was on asthma court at that time. I had to do 2 puffs in the morning and 2 puffs at night. And I still had issues. I still have to use my emergency inhaler, which is my albuterol, which is the same medication I use to this day as my emergency medication. But my daily one has changed. I'm now on Flovent, if anybody, cares. But yeah, I was hospitalized for my asthma in, gosh, was it 3rd grade? Was that? Oh, you know what? I don't know what age it was anymore. It was sometime in elementary school. I actually had to stay overnight. And originally, my parents weren't going to stay. Like, my mom couldn't because she had to watch my sister and my brother. And my dad wasn't going to because he had to work. And I was just like, no. Like, I almost put myself right back into another asthma attack right there in the hospital, hooked up to all these machines, until my dad agreed to sleep on the frickin' love seat that they had in my room. So, he had a horrible back and neck ache in the morning, but I kind of slept. Not really. I had a tube up my nose, and they told me I was supposed to breathe through my nose, but, like, I couldn't, so I just breathed through my mouth, which I wasn't supposed to do, because that wasn't where I was getting, like, not pure oxygen, but more. But yeah, well, let's see what else. 7th grade, my asthma came back with a vengeance. Like, I never got rid of it. It's just, it was more in control after that. And 7th grade was when it got really bad. I was using my emergency inhaler, like, I want to say every half hour. Like, I mean, it was bad, you guys. I'd wake up in the middle of the night and use it a lot. And when my asthma's really bad, I have to sleep with my, like I'm sitting basically with my back up against the wall or on the couch or something. I can't lay down because I can't breathe. So it's not fun. No me gusta. Yeah, I mean, it was bad. I remember jumping on the trampoline with my friends, and I just be like, oh yeah, I need to take a break. And like, I never let anyone know that I was having issues because, I was embarrassed because nobody else had asthma, and so they'd stare Like, I'd always use my Asthmacort, my daily medication, in the bathroom because it was like, I don't want people staring at me and asking me questions. And so, yeah, I remember I got off the trampoline and I tried to act totally normal because I had put my albuterol in my shoe. I had originally been carrying it in my pocket, but when we went to go get on the trampoline, I didn't want to like accidentally land on it or anything, so I put it in my shoe. Pulled it out of my shoe, took the cap off. So it did not taste like my shoe, by the way. And I used my inhaler, facing away from the trampoline in the hopes that they wouldn't see what I was doing. They might have, I don't know. I honestly don't know. There were two of them, so I'm sure they were just, still talking and hanging out with themselves. But literally, I was having an asthma attack, so I wasn't paying attention to anything else. But I will say, to me, albuterol tastes disgusting, all right? It does not taste good. And I was using it so often, it did not have a taste anymore. Like, I couldn't taste anything. Which, on one hand, it was nice because it didn't taste like crap anymore. On the other hand, like, that's worrying, And so that was when we were living in Spain. At halfway through 7th grade, it was right before we were getting ready to move. They took me to the doctor, and the doctor, started listening to me, and he was kind of just like, yeah, no, we need to put her on oxygen immediately. Like, she's like having an asthma attack right now. Like, this is really, really bad. And they hooked me up, and that's when I was switched from Asthmacort to Flovent. But I don't think they had it available in Spain. I think they were saying we'd have to wait for a shipment or something. But we ended up moving to Vegas shortly after that. And when we got to Vegas, I got Flovent. And the fun part about this was that is when I learned Asthmacort was known for stunting growth. And I was using Asthmacort from 1st grade to 7th grade. And I hit puberty in 6th grade. So you can imagine when I was taken off of Asthmacort, I got taller and I grew a lot, and it was incredibly painful. I mean, it happened so quickly. It was so painful. It was so bad. Just thinking back to it, I'm like, ugh. Yeah, that was not fun. And then they had to, because at this point I was basically addicted to my albuterol. Like, I could not breathe without it. The doctor put me on, I think it was 2 weeks of steroids. And you guys, that is the most disgusting thing I have ever tasted. Like, I don't like lobster. I would eat lobster over that crap again. Like, it got to the point I would put as much milk in my mouth as I could, drop the pill in, and just swallow as much as I could with the hopes that it would not touch my tongue. And even then, it was still just pungent, and it was so bad. I mean, ultimately, it did help me. And, I was able to get off of my albuterol every half an hour, sometimes less. And I'm much better now. And when I am having problems, I do admit to them, because I don't want to potentially have an asthma attack and, like, pass out and have people, not know what the heck is going on. So I am better now. I do talk to people when I'm having issues. Oh, man. Yeah. So, yeah, having a disease that has honestly hospitalized me and given me issues and embarrassment and blah, blah, blah has just made me appreciate life more. And I know, obviously, not all diseases are the same, but I do feel it's helped me relate to other people with their own health problems. Because it's like, yeah, okay, I don't have this, I don't have that, but I understand what it's like to be absolutely terrified and think you're going to die, and know that it is possible. Like, people do die from asthma attacks. So, it doesn't really help. I will say, talking about my asthma reminds me, when I was in high school, there was a teacher. I want to say it was an older guy. Pretty sure it was a guy. He told us that we didn't appreciate our lives. And, we wouldn't until we were older and we started losing family members and we started having health problems. And I don't believe I spoke up, but to this day, I'm still incredibly offended by that comment. Because it's like, there were people older than me that were healthier than me. So I'm like, no, that's not how that works. There are people who were born with health conditions infinitely worse than mine. And you're just going to assume, 15 to 20 kids in a classroom don't have any health problems? They haven't lost any family? Are you serious? Are you stupid? So if I were to like go back in time, I would totally have spoken up. Cause I didn't even know the health of the other people in that class. For all I know, somebody had like survived cancer or something. And it's like, you can't assume that just because someone is young that they're healthy. Like, I mean, yes, you want to have that assumption, obviously, but it's not realistic. Oh, yeah, it's still to this day, thinking back on that makes me so angry. Okay. 114. Do you think Friends is a bad TV show? I don't. I haven't really watched it recently, but growing up, it was great. Phoebe was always my favorite. Chandler was my favorite of the guys. And then I really liked Joey. And I kind of liked Rachel. I didn't really like Monica. And I did not like Ross. I don't know. He just rubbed me the wrong way. And Monica was just so annoying sometimes. Which is weird because I'm probably the most like Monica over the other girls. Like, I'm definitely not like Rachel. I am not the pretty popular girl. And I'm not quite as crazy as Phoebe. So, oh my god, David, you scared me. Hello.
I love you.
Would you like to join me?
What am I joining?
On narration?
Narration?
Oh my god, I just lost the piece of my headphones. No.
The earbone?
The earbud.
The earbone.
I was playing with it and you scared the crap out of me. Did you find it?
Well, you keep
I'm
moving
because I'm trying to find it. Thank you.
This has been an exciting moment in cross-stitch history.
Thank you. All right, so the question is, do you think Friends is a bad TV show?
No.
Right? I don't think so. I have met people that don't like it though. So
I mean, yeah, you cannot like it, but I mean, it was a popular show. They're not great people, but then again, most sitcoms don't have great people as characters. It's kind of a thing.
They absolutely were not good people.
It was fun. I liked it. I've rewatched some episodes. Most of them hold up. Not all of them. It's a good show. I don't know what your problem with it is.
I don't have a problem with it.
Well, why are you knocking Friends on?
I'm not. Who was your favorite? Phoebe was my favorite. Chandler was my second favorite. Let's see what the next question is. 115. Favorite day of the week? Saturday. Absolutely Saturday.
Friday.
No, I have to work on Fridays.
Yeah, but I have
What?
the most amount of time ahead of me of relaxing and weekend.
Yeah, no, Saturday. Because I can wake up, I can sleep in, I can do whatever I want, I can stay up late, which I'm not good at, but I can. Sunday is always a little disappointing because it's like, tomorrow's Monday and I gotta go back to work. You okay there, honey?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 116. What life lesson would you pass on to your children?
Be introspective. As well pass nothing on.
No, I'm thinking because one of the first ones that came to my mind was what my parents instilled in me, which was just tell the truth. Yes, okay, you broke something. Own up to it. We can see about getting it fixed. If you lie, it's just so difficult. And then the other one I was thinking was to just not be a spoiled brat. Like, okay, yes, I want to be able to provide for my kids. I want to be able to give them everything that they want. But I do expect them to have a good attitude. I don't want a spoiled brat. Because I met people when I was a kid who were totally spoiled. And it was annoying as heck. Mm-hmm. And then, yes, maybe you'll be able to grow out of that. I mean, I think a lot of people take that with them. Because I've met a lot of adults now that are spoiled brats. Hello, Karens of the internet.
Mm-hmm.
Or, well, rather, the world. So, I think either of those would be good. Do you want to elaborate on being introspective, or are you good?
I mean, just, be willing to criticize yourself. Like, self-doubt and whatnot can get out of hand, but at the same time, being aware of your shortcomings and, like, where you can improve is an important skill. Too many people think that they don't do anything wrong ever, and that's kind of the spoiled brat thing again. They're like, no, everything I do is right. Like, okay. And, like, it comes with the ability to, I think it's sort of linked to empathy, where you can think about how other people think about things and how they feel about them, and even if you don't necessarily agree, at least understand where they're coming from.
Mm-hmm.
So I think those are both very important skills.
I agree. 117. Do you feel like the good times outweigh the bad? For me personally, yes. I overall am very happy. So that's why, like, every time I get these questions of, like, oh, if you could switch with someone else's life, would you? I say no. So that's just me, though. How about you? Do you feel like the good times outweigh the bad?
Yeah.
That's all that David has to say.
I mean, well, no, like, I've gotten very lucky this year. Like, I had some health concerns, and that was not fun, but I seem to be okay now, and, we're still ongoing and figuring that out, but, yeah, I mean, generally so far.
Love you.
Love you too.
118. Who or what inspires you to be a better person? My mom is the one who inspires me to be a better person. She's always been so wonderful and so kind and very empathetic. And she is now a first grade teacher, which I just think is ridiculous. I would absolutely never become a teacher, but if I did, it would absolutely not be with little elementary school kids. At least not first graders, because no. But yeah, like, she was a military wife, so my dad was on TDY a lot, so she raised my sister, me, and my little brother. And I think we all turned out at least pretty okay. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
My mummy.
I don't know. Probably like my grandmother. She taught me a lot and was a very important person to me. And not in a direct way, like, oh, you should do this or that, but just, how she acted, how she handled things, especially given how my family was. Like, I learned a lot from my parents and whatnot, but watching my grandmother kind of deal with how my family was very enlightening to me.
Mm-hmm.
And important to me. I don't know. Like, the rest of it was from my parents, but that was probably the most influential.
Mm-hmm. Okay. 119. What time do you normally go to bed?
Yes.
I start getting ready for bed at like 9:30.
Yeah, getting ready.
Well, yeah, that's when I start like changing into my pajamas, brushing my teeth, braiding my hair, flossing.
And that's after 3 years of dealing with me.
Yeah, I'm still a morning person. That's never going to change, honey.
Yeah, but you were you were in bed by 9 when I met you.
9, no.
I've corrupted you.
9, no. 9:30.
You stay up till like 10:30 now sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes.
And I go to bed eventually.
Yeah, his sleep hours vary day to day. So, yes, the answer is yes. Although, okay, so David and I were just discussing this yesterday. So, I have a Fitbit, and he has a similar thingy on his wrist. And so it tells us exactly how many hours and minutes of sleep we get. And I always go to bed first. And I generally feel more well-rested than he does. So I was like, obviously I'm getting more sleep than you. And I was like, my Fitbit says I average about 7 hours a day. David was quiet for a minute, and then he was like, I usually get 8 to 9. And I was like, what the heck? No! But you get, like, what did you say, like 4 minutes of deep sleep if you're lucky?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I usually get around, like, 40-ish minutes, 30 to 40. So that is very different.
When I've definitely slept better in my life, and when I have, even then, like, I slept less, and I don't think that's directly related. I just know that from my understanding of sleep, your body kind of adapts, and once it figures out it's only getting so much time, it crams everything it needs to get together. Because I think it's like, theoretically, you can get by fine on even like 2 hours or less if your body adapts to it. Now, you don't want to do that for like a long period of time, but there's plenty of people who do, especially in military, for example. And yeah, for whatever reason, I just... it takes a lot for me to get good sleep. So even though I sleep more than you, I don't sleep well.
Yeah. And I get less sleep because although I'll be in bed at like 10 o'clock, I won't fall asleep until 11 or 11:30.
What is this on the
and
screen?
then I'll wake up several times. That is, I put the frame up, and so I could access the back of it. So you were just seeing the bottom of the scroll.
I see.
Very exciting.
But why?
Because, honey, I had to access the back of it.
Yes, but
there
why
was a
did
knot.
Oh, a knot. See, that's what I wanted to know.
Yeah.
You were unknotting it.
No, I was unknotting it.
That's what I said.
I heard knotting it.
Well, now we'll have witnesses who can decide for us. Put your answer in the comments below so that I may lord over her terrible hearing or my awful
Speaking,
enunciation.
He doesn't watch my YouTube channel, you guys, so he doesn't read the comments anyways. You might as well just be
I
on my side.
straight will for this one. On the tracker.
You're so funny.
Do analytics and make a chart and throw it in Excel.
PowerPoint. All right. 120. What is the best and worst part of your personality? Best part, I think, would just be my positivity. I generally have a very positive outlook. Like, I don't consider myself an optimist. I consider myself a realist. But I still generally approach most situations positively, like, happily. But with that, the worst part of my personality, I am very, like, anti-confrontational. Like, when people get angry and upset, I kind of just, like, shut down and back off, and it just, like, I get quiet and unhelpful. And sometimes non-confrontation is, not bad, but there are times when it's like, you just gotta suck it up and discuss things and open your mouth, and there are people you have to yell at sometimes, and you just gotta learn to yell at them.
You learn to yell at me fast.
Like, I was thinking more like when I was working at Michael's, when I was a manager, like, at first when I became a manager, I didn't want to tell people off and write them up and be mean. And then eventually I was like, I gotta do this. Like, that is the only way I'm gonna be a good manager. And Mark and I, we were both promoted within 1 week of you. He was promoted first, and then I was promoted a week later. To management, sorry. And he was considered the nicest manager, and I was the mean, nice manager. So he was the nicest, and I was the next nicest. Like, if I called you into the office, you'd be a little nervous. If Mark called you into the office, you'd be fine. But if another manager called you into the office, you would freak out. So, yeah. All right, so what is the best and worst part of your personality, handsome man?
I know that I get depressive and mopey and dramatic when I'm not in a great place, so that's probably the worst part. As for best, I don't know, humor, I guess.
I was thinking either sorry, I interrupted you.
No, it's okay. Yeah.
I was gonna say either your humor or how you approach, like, learning opportunities for other people. Sure. Like, you never make me feel like an idiot when you're teaching me about something.
Because I know you're an idiot.
You're a jerk. I hate you. You clearly don't love me. But they're like, I had teachers where it was like, if you did not understand the question, they made you feel like an idiot. And then it just made it that much more difficult to learn, and it took the fun out of it for me. Versus, I've never felt stupid with David. I'm sure there have been plenty of times when I was absolutely stupid, but I didn't feel like it. So I was still willing to stay there and stick around and learn.
I think generally people aren't stupid. Like, there are people who act like everyone is stupid the moment they don't understand something, and it's because they're not aware enough to recognize that the way they're conveying information is not correct for the situation. Like, just because it's the way you would learn doesn't mean it's the way that everybody learns. And so being able to be like, they're not an idiot just because they don't understand you. They just have a different way of taking in information and trying to adjust is, I think, important, because once you find the way that people become receptive, turns out most people aren't completely stupid.
It's true. It's true.
And the rest of them are eating Tide Pods and solving the problem.
Oh, God. That was... What the heck was that? Like, I keep seeing now... What?
Well, go ahead, yeah.
I was just going to say, like, I've seen TikToks recently where... What is it? Like, Gen Z is like, you know, oh, part your hair down the middle. That's how everybody looks better. You side parts are stupid. And then, you know, millennials respond back. I'm a millennial, by the way. And they'll be like, yeah, no, where were you when I was in middle school and I was bullied for my middle part? No, I look horrible. And, like, I have a really wide forehead. So you'll generally see me with bangs. If I don't have my bangs, my hair is never parted down the middle because it just makes my face look even longer than it already is, and it does not look good on me. So, you know, and then there was somebody who's just like, oh yeah, you know, you want me to part my hair down the middle and get rid of my skinny jeans. I'm not going to take advice from the generation that thinks it's cool to eat Tide Pods. And I was like, okay, I don't wear skinny jeans, but I support what you just said.
I still don't know, like, I know it happened at least once, but I didn't ever, like, I don't go in for, like, the current problem things. I just don't usually find it interesting, and I do know that from research I did much younger and even recently that, you know, the media loves to hype things up. And especially with, like, how social media has caught on, you know, things can just go into a wildfire. So I don't know if, like, one person ate a Tide Pod and that became a thing, or if lots of people ate Tide Pods. I've never bothered to look into any of this. I do know they're incredibly poisonous.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I did look into that because someone brought it up and it was kind of interesting just how horribly dangerous they are. Any of that stuff is, like detergents and whatnot, and I find it cool how it kind of ravages the body. But I guess I understand the idea that, yeah, that does kind of look like candy to a young child. Although, to what age that... I guess I could even see, like, a 6-year-old not knowing better.
Most people are going to keep it in the laundry room.
Sure.
So once you're to an age where you should be able to tell the difference between, oh, here's a snack from the cupboard, and, oh, this is mommy's laundry room. I'm sure she hides candy in here.
Yeah, there's definitely a logic thing, but I will say that, like, yeah, that looks kind of like some of the snacks that I can imagine being out there versus, like, you know, when it comes in a blue liquid in a plastic bottle, it's a lot less likely to be a thing. But either way, I have absolutely no idea how much of this was actually a problem, how many people died, and whatever came of all of it, or if it just was like one of those things where it happened once
and then the media blew it out of proportion.
Kind of like the clowns. Remember the clowns?
Oh god, I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember seeing a couple videos and I was just like, man, I don't carry a gun, but like I will kill somebody.
Which I think turned out to be like one prank, and then like
I
some
think it was like one.
pranks.
Yeah, that's what it was.
But it was not nearly as like far spread as like people were like shutting down schools or something weird like that. I don't remember what it was. It wasn't schools, but
it was
something
crazy though.
Yeah, and I was just like, I don't think there's that many people doing this. Just because, frankly, if you're gonna be a lunatic, dressing up like a clown is a lot of effort.
It's silly.
And a really good way to get shot before you do anything.
One of the questions from my video, I believe, that was posted yesterday was, are you afraid of clowns?
Not particularly. Well, I feel like it became a meme, I guess. We didn't have that word when I was first introduced to it. But yeah, like, you know, the idea that like, oh, well, of course clowns are scary because they're not actually scary. They're supposed to be funny, but everyone says they're scary, and it's funny because they're scary because they're supposed to be funny, and like that whole self-feeding thing, because like I never really thought they were scary, and then of course people started making scary clowns. Like, yes, the new It clown is supposed to be...
the original It clown was creepy too.
Well, no, I liked him.
When his teeth went
and
he came out of the drain.
When he like looks like a monster, of course he's scary.
Yes.
But I mean, his original design is not very threatening.
No, not at all. Especially because it's Tim Curry.
Yeah, well, yeah, and that was the fact that it's Tim Curry's voice is the scariest thing about it, and that in itself is a different issue. But yeah, that to me is like, that's what a clown is. And the scariest thing about that movie and about clowns in that regard is that, yes, something non-threatening could be that dangerous. And, you know, of course it's fun for kids. So yeah, no, I was never scared of clowns, never had nightmares about clowns. I've heard that like, oh, it scares people because, you know, the way they put makeup on their face makes them look like they're smiling when they're not, and so it's like a dissociative thing or something. And I mean, I believe people do fear them, but I sincerely question if that many people are actually scared of clowns, or if it's just kind of like we've gotten in the habit of saying clowns are scary, and then in all the media, the scary clowns are, 6-foot grinning psychopaths in dark alleys with sinister music playing. It's like, well, yes, that clown is scary. If you put a bunny in that scene, it would probably be scary if it looked like that and had that music. Yeah, I remember those. I don't remember what happened in them. I don't know how there was a book about that. Like, I've wondered about that before in my life. Like, I remember reading those. I remember there was a full plot, and I have no idea how you have a plot focusing on a vampire bunny.
I absolutely agree, because I also read the book, and I remember nothing other than that there was a vampire bunny. But no, so yesterday I said I was not scared of clowns, and I'm not. If a clown comes at me with, like, a flower that has water spurting out of it, that's not going to frighten me. It's going to annoy me, but it's not going to scare me. But if he comes at me with a bat or a gun, I'm not scared of the clown. I'm scared of the bat. I'm scared of the gun. I'm scared of the human being that's about to attack me.
Counterpoint, I've terrified you by entering the room. So it doesn't take much to scare you. It has nothing to do with clowns. Liz is scared by other people existing in her space.
I am a frightened kitten. It's fine. But I'm still not scared of clowns. Like, they have to do something scary for me to be scared of them.
I touched you and you fell down crying. I'm just...
Okay, yeah, well... I was in a towel out of my shower. I did not hear you, and you grabbed me from behind. And then I saw it was you, and I felt instant relief, but my heart rate was still 130, and I just couldn't take it. So I curled up into a ball, and it made me feel a little bit better.
I want, like,
why
Jeopardy
you gotta be a
music
jerk
to
about
play,
it?
And like, doon, 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 who could be grabbing Liz from behind? Her boyfriend? A murder clown!
Okay, you know what? You're not a girl, and you're not a girl that's 5'2". So you can keep that horrible attitude to yourself, sir.
In her house, in her bathroom.
Yeah, oh yeah, because people don't break into houses. Screw you. 121. What spells fun for you? Picking on David. I mean, I find cross-stitching fun. I find video games fun. I find card games, board games fun. Lots of stuff is fun. How about you?
Video games, obviously.
What type of video games, handsome man?
Some of my favorites are fighting games. I really like New Vegas, as you now know. I play Magic occasionally, which is really more of a non-video game, but it's become a video game, which makes it much easier to play. I like a lot of stuff. I like things that... I don't know if there's any, like, easy way to... I either like competitive things where it's, like, with depth, though. Like, that's why I like fighters. That's why I like Dota. Or things that often, like, do really neat stuff with what they've got. So, like, Dishonored and New Vegas and, like, I don't care about the plot that much in either of those, although they're both good. But, yeah, just, like, seeing all the neat ways you can interact with the world and the stuff you can do is really fun. And then, outside of that, coding. I like my drone. It's a fun drone. I'm gonna fly my drone later.
Lemmy and Larry.
Yes.
That he named them, you guys. It's so precious.
Okay. And I do like computer building, although I'm a bit salty about it right now.
Yeah, they had some issues and still haven't figured it out. I'm sorry.
It was like a 6-hour build. We worked on it all day to put it in a much tinier case, and
it's not working.
Yeah, there's some new parts, and I think one of them's bad, and that sucks. But oh well.
I'm sorry.
I like reading, and any form of like good storytelling. Like I don't think many games tell good stories, but when they do, I like those stories. And then I like anime, TV, movies, books, anything that's comics, that even web comics that tells like an interesting story. And then jet skiing's pretty fun, as is scuba diving.
I wouldn't know.
We will fix... Wait, you've never been jet skiing either?
Nope.
We will fix that.
122. Do you believe in Bigfoot? I believe that people have big feet. I don't believe in Sasquatch.
Yeah, I don't think so. Like, I mean, especially in this day and age with cell phone cameras everywhere, yeah. No.
Yeah. Especially ones out in the wild. Like, Oh, yeah, it's never stumbled upon one of them. But that very rare Siberian tiger did. Like, whatever. Let's see. 123. What takes up too much of your time? Work, yeah. Absolutely.
Other than that, more reasonable answer. What's like a small stupid thing that, like, obviously traffic's an easy one. It's annoying.
Gosh.
Well, actually, at this point, it kind of doesn't because my schedule's somewhat flexible enough that on days where things are going smoothly, I try to schedule it so I leave a little bit after traffic is already broken and a little bit before traffic starts at the end of the day, or I'll stay purposely extra late until traffic breaks. So, like, if I'm not out of the office by 5, I'll stay till 6 just because I don't want to be stuck in traffic for 40 minutes. Although listening to books on the drive home has changed that a little.
Audiobooks are great.
And that also has been a good way to stop it from wasting my time because at least I'm like, hey, listening to a story I like, rather than sitting in the traffic wondering if I could, kill everybody in front of me and get away with it.
Trying to fall asleep takes way too much of my time, you guys. That's why I only get 7 hours of sleep when I go to bed before David, and I wake up at 6. It's ridiculous.
There was something else where I was like, oh yeah, cooking can take too much time. I like cooking, but at the same time, okay, I'm a coder, and the parts that make me a good coder, like there's different skills that can make you a good coder, and I am not one of those people who's really, really diligent. Instead, I am someone who, once I do it, and I know how to do it, I want to make sure I never have to do it again. Now that I know how to do it, let's make it happen automatically. And so, like, I've tried to do more to make my cooking easier. So we've gotten a sous vide and, like, vacuum sealers and all the fun things, because it really does let me cook really good food and really, really easily with very minimal effort. Like, I usually just call Liz and say, hey, turn on the thing and make it this temperature, and then, throw in the thing and put on a timer, and I'll handle the rest when I get home. And it's really nice. But I struggle to find a good way to get a nice mixture of chopped vegetables, and that is the most ridiculous thing for me to mention anywhere ever, and yet it has been, in this modern age, a surprising frustration for me that I can't get, like, decent chopped vegetables pre-chopped. Either they're frozen and they're kind of not great. I don't know. I want to outsource this somehow, and it's been a real frustration for me because I am ridiculous.
It's true. He
chopping
is ridiculous.
vegetables. And so I'll probably just try to make one part of my week where I just buy a bunch of vegetables and pre-do it. Because when I get in a rhythm, I don't mind. It's when I have to, like, do it before every meal. So I'd rather spend, like, 2 hours listening to music or a book on a weekend and just get everything ready and then throw it all in plastic bags. Mm-hmm. Which is what I'm supposed to do. But I want to be able to cut that part out.
Yeah, mine is trying to fall asleep and also trying to stay awake. Because when I get tired, it takes way too much time for me to just try and stay awake. That's all I got. I get the short answer this time. 124. What's your favorite part of the day? The morning. That's when you have breakfast. That's when the sunlight is best for cross-stitching.
That's when your boyfriend's still asleep and not bothering you.
Hey, sometimes you get up in the mornings. Those are always exciting days.
You are not excited when I'm up in the morning.
Okay, I'm sorry. What happened this morning? You came out and I was like, oh, good morning, handsome. I didn't go, oh, hey. That's how you greeted me, though.
No, I asked you what you were listening to.
He stood in the hallway looking like a creep.
I asked you something and you didn't answer, and I was like, oh, are you listening?
And then you mumbled. And then you mumbled again.
Right. So either way,
like a creep.
For the record, morning. See, this is a lie because by her definition, that wasn't morning. It was like 10:30.
Okay, I consider the morning from when you wake up at a normal, reasonable hour.
Ah, because I was gonna say like 2 in the afternoon.
No, 5 a.m. until like 11.
I've been up at 5 a.m.
Yeah, but if I'm not awake, it doesn't. I'm irrelevant in this situation. I see how it is.
I see.
You guys, he picks 5 a.m. when I'm still asleep.
And yeah, I do enjoy the evening as a favorite time of day, just because, like... Oh, well, like, I don't get to do it as much anymore because I have, a real job and COVID's a thing. But I really, we live in Vegas, And I really missed before 2008 when the housing market crashed, just how great the city could be just in the middle of the night. I, was in college around that time and didn't have as many responsibilities, and just being able to like go around town and go to like restaurants at like 1, 2, 3 in the morning was really fun for me. And you can still do that here, but it's vastly, vastly less. And I just kind of like the feeling of like being one of the only people out at night.
Yeah, no, I hate that feeling. That sounds terrifying. Okay. Men are insane. But no, okay, I also like mornings just because I feel really productive when I first wake up. I don't feel as tired because obviously, I use my energy throughout the day. So the later it gets, the more tired I get and the more effort it takes to get everything done. So, yeah.
I see.
Mm-hmm. 125. Do you find clowns creepy? No.
Please.
No, I don't. Yeah, like we literally already discussed this. 126. What's the longest time you had to wait for something?
Well, some of those keyboards took like almost a year, I think, to get to me. Technically, I'm still waiting for one. There's another one, Liz.
Yeah, I believe you.
That one's probably never coming.
Oh, I have a trump card. 27 years for the perfect man. Oh, love you.
I'm older than you. I waited longer for a good woman.
No, you found a good woman. You dated them for significant periods of time. They just turned out to be crazy later. It's fine.
I see. That's how you're going to play this.
Also, I called you perfect, and you just said a great woman. So, I clearly, told you it was a trump card. What'd you say?
You dated?
Yeah, for, my longest relationship prior to you was 3 months.
So you're capricious. 150 different boyfriends for 3 months.
Yeah, okay, we'll go with that, sure.
And that is the end of Christmas mini season's greetings. I got 45 minutes of footage, so that is the quickest one yet. One day I'll find an easy way to do this. Today is not that day. So, it's very simple, but it's cute. So, I'm gonna do another one. Because it's only 1 p.m. What? He's grumbling. I don't know what's wrong with David. Like, subscribe, share, comment, all that jazz. And I'll see you guys in the next video if he doesn't kill me.